For reasons that utterly escape everyone involved, you're listening to a bipolar, a schizophrenic, and a podcast. Here are your hosts, Gabe Howard and Michelle Hammer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Bipolar, a Schizophrenic, and a Podcast. Today, we are talking about why we are recording so late. Oh, yeah, and my name's Gabe, and I have bipolar.
Yes, and I'm Michelle Hammer. I am the schizophrenic. Yes, and recording late because we procrastinate, Gabe. Gabe, do we procrastinate like all the time, ever, all the time?
Oh, sorry, I was distracted. Between procrastination, distraction, not honoring deadlines, and our general working relationship, I'm surprised that podcasts ever get done. I'll be honest, did we release one last week?
I'm pretty sure that we did. Yeah, we totally did release one. Yeah. I did it. Because you email me, and I listen to it, and I write things down, and then I send it to you, but it gets all over the place, because we procrastinate. Why do we procrastinate so much? Why do I procrastinate so much, Gabe? What is it? Is it my mental illness, Gabe? Tell me the truth. Is it my mental illness? Why do I procrastinate? Why do people procrastinate all the time?
So first, we have to look at just a variety of human behavior. I don't know if the reason that Michelle Hammer gets distracted and procrastinates is because you have schizophrenia. It's certainly possible, but I know plenty of people who do not live with any mental illness whatsoever that can't show up on time to save their lives.
I can never show up on time. I can't tell you how many times at the job. I know I've lost a lot of jobs. Everybody's heard, 8 jobs lost. But many of those meetings that I had with bosses were, you're late all the time. You're late. You come in late. And that was always an issue. But a part of that issue was, taking psych meds at night makes it really hard to get up in the morning. How do you explain that to a boss? So I was kind of a little stuck in a situation where, how do I kind of explain I'm sleeping late because of psych meds, but I'm late to work because I'm late, but you can't. You see where I'm getting here, Gabe?
I do understand what you're getting at, but the world isn't going to wait for us. I wish the world would wait for us, but clearly you have to be in control of your own illness, Michelle. So this is the part that I'm blaming specifically you for, and people with mental illness have to take responsibility. If you're taking your psychiatric meds at 11 o'clock and you're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock and you're always getting there at 9, then obviously the simple solution is to start taking your psychiatric medication at 10, and then you'll be there every day at 8. And obviously this is where reasonable accommodations come in, because you can say like, look, I have a medical illness. I take medication the night before, and can I have a flex schedule? I promise you that I will be in between 7 and 9 every morning, no later than 9, no earlier than 7, and I'll stay for 8 hours from the point that I walk in the door. And if you can find a job that accommodates that because you've explained your illness correctly, then you'll be fine. But listen, here's the thing. You have the exact same procrastination and distraction issues in treatment and recovery with schizophrenia as you did when you were just a straight up whack job. So some of this is going to be Michelle Hammer's just personal choices. I live with bipolar disorder and I'm never late.
When I was in college and I wasn't really completely medicated, I was way more on time because I had a lot of time anxiety and I never wanted to be late to anything. So sometimes I wonder that now I'm on all these psych meds that chill me out more. I'm kind of like, oh, it's okay if I'm late. That's fine. Everything's fine. I don't need to be on time. I mean, does that make logical sense? Because it really doesn't. Is it made me more relaxed and I'm like, I can't be late. Not talking about getting to work in the morning, but like if I'm trying to be somewhere, if I try to meet somebody at some place, I feel more relaxed about being late. And right now, I'm kind of blaming it on, benzos or something like that, but that's not really logical. Or is that logical? What do you think about that?
Does it matter? I guess the question that I'm going to ask is, does it matter? Does it matter what the cost is? You're trying to figure out why you're late. And I think that that is the wrong question. I think the question that you need to ask yourself is, why don't you care what you're putting the other person through? Because on the other end of that, the other end of your lateness is somebody sitting there waiting on you. Somebody who is wasting their time or is worried that something happened to you or is concerned for your well-being or is just pissed off that you don't value them as a person. So I think you're asking the wrong question. Do you honestly believe that your medication is chilling you out so much that you're like, I don't care if my friends and family are annoyed and upset and angry and hurt? Fuck them.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm going to be super late, but if I have to meet somebody at 2, back in the day, I'd be like, I got to get there at 2. Now, if I show up at 2:15, I don't feel so bad about it. And I feel like almost that's kind of okay. Why rush and be all freaked out that I can't be there at 2 when I can relax more and say, okay, the train's going slower. I have more things to do. I can get there at 2:15 and everything's going to be okay.
And this is the relationship that people have with time, isn't it? I guarantee that there are people listening to this and they're just like, yeah, Michelle's right. Stop and smell the roses. Who cares? And there's other people listening to this that are like, oh my God, why even set an appointment if you're just going to be there whenever the hell you want? So what do we do with that? And again, there is a real cost to this. Gabe Howard gets annoyed when I am all ready to work and I am sitting there staring at a blank screen, wondering where the hell my co-host is. And you're just all like, chill.
That happened
chill.
That was like one time.
No.
When I was sleeping.
No.
That time I was sleeping and I forgot.
No.
It's happened more than once.
No, that is every time. Every time. In 70 episodes, the only time that you have ever been on time is when I personally woke you up and drug you to the microphone. And even then, I had to wait for you to finish drinking your coffee before you would start recording. But your butt was in the seat.
You don't want me to record without coffee in my system, Gabe. Do you know what that's like without coffee in my system? I'm Michelle. I'm a schizophrenic podcast. Yeah, I haven't had coffee yet. And we're talking about that's what I would be like without some coffee before me. So you don't want to do that, Gabe. You don't want to do that.
So now there's another interesting.
I think my procrastination has become better. It's become better. My room is a mess. I know my room's a mess. I got to clean it. Come on. I know.
But that's another interesting point that you made, Michelle, and I think this is part of the personal accountability process, because you said, listen, I can't do shit without coffee. I don't disagree with you. I can't do shit without Diet Coke. I can't do shit. I can't wake up and start working. I just can't. It's not something that Gabe Howard is capable of doing. So if I have to be at work at 8 o'clock, I don't wake up at 7. I wake up at 5:30 so that I have time to take a shower, get dressed, get caffeine, relax, and then walk in ready to work at 8 o'clock. I think that sometimes you screw yourself up because you need to record at 11 and you set your alarm for 10:50.
Possibly. I have no comment on that.
But see what I mean?
I do not agree or disagree on that statement right there.
But remember the question that you asked yourself?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Remember the question that you asked yourself? Is this schizophrenia or is this just me or my personality? You have the option to make better choices. Schizophrenia, especially where you are in your recovery now, is not preventing you from going to bed earlier. It's not preventing you from setting your alarm earlier. And I know we've talked before and you're like, my alarm doesn't wake me up. And I gave you all of these systems to help you get up, from services that call and wake you up, to utilizing your roommate to kick your ass out of bed, to, these alarms that you put across the room that literally go, Aruga!
One of my bosses actually told me about that alarm as well. I actually had a discussion with one of my bosses on how to wake up in the morning. Yeah, that happened. It happened. Thanks, Jason.
But did you utilize any of them?
No. And so, I didn't.
Were you fired?
Guess what happened to that? Yeah, possibly.
So again, and listen, I'm not, we don't need to go back through history and drum up everything, but I'm saying there is a possibility that the reason that you lost that job had nothing to do with your mental illness at all. It had to do with your unwillingness to make different decisions and try new things to put yourself in the best possible position to succeed.
But I got everything done on time.
Again, relationships have two people involved. You're saying, hey, all my needs were met, so therefore it was fine. But this other person, your boss, was saying his needs weren't met. And your response to that seems to be, so mine were. Is that really how human relationships work? If Michelle's happy, everybody else should just suck it up?
One sec. Let's hear from our sponsor.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.com. Secure, convenient, and affordable online counseling. All counselors are licensed, accredited professionals. Anything you share is confidential. Schedule secure video or phone sessions, plus chat and text with your therapist whenever you feel it's needed. A month of online therapy often costs less than a single traditional face-to-face session. Go to BetterHelp.com/Psych Central and experience 7 days of free therapy to see if online counseling is right for you. BetterHelp.com/Psych Central.
We are back talking about procrastination.
We are back talking about masturbation.
We are back talking about procrastination.
We are procrastinating masturbating.
I was going to masturbate, but I procrastinated.
I masturbated while procrastinating cleaning my room.
Actually, that is a thing. Whenever I procrastinate, I'm usually masturbating. That is 100% true. Like, I have this list of things that I need to get done, and I'm usually jerking off in front of my computer.
Yeah.
I should just add it to the list. Like, when I get done with step 7, I should just masturbate.
Couldn't the question be for this one, do you procrastinate by jerking off? Can that be one of the questions?
I wish.
You know, I'm feeling like the victim here, Gabe. You're really making me feel like the victim, the horrible person that just shows up late and procrastinates. You ever procrastinated, Gabe? Tell me your dirty little secrets.
Don't forget being distracted.
Tell me your dirty little secrets. Distracted? It's not my fault I'm distracted. I have many things to do. I have a lot of things on my plates. You know, I gotta build websites. I gotta do books. I gotta do graphics. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And I gotta go there. And I gotta see these people. I'm a busy lady. This is New York City. This is a busy town.
You know what I love? You just tried to turn the microscope on me to figure out all the things that I did wrong. And I easily distracted you by asking you if you were easily distracted. And you suddenly forgot that you were going to attack me and point out all my flaws.
Well, you know what, Gabe, you once missed a speech, Gabe. You once missed a speech.
That is not true. That was one of the lies, as you recall.
No, the other one that was at 9 a.m. and then you didn't show up that you told me about that one, Gabe. The one who was Yes. That
is true.
Yes, gotcha.
That is true. So now that's actually a really interesting point to bring up. It was on my calendar for the wrong date. So I didn't oversleep. I was disorganized. And I am in charge of my own organization. It was completely my fault. It wasn't a speech, it was an event, but I had the date wrong. I had the wrong Monday because I added it to my calendar incorrectly. So we can chalk that up to user error, right? I mean, if it happens infrequently, you know, humans are fallible human beings. We mess up all the time. The question becomes, what if I start missing multiple speeches? And you are absolutely correct. I have a long history, just like you, of having panic attacks and quitting jobs. I have a long history of knowing that I can't go out the night before and stay out at a sporting event, a concert, or whatever until 2 a.m. and then expect to be able to go to work at 6 a.m. And you know what I was doing at 2 a.m. the night before? Partying, exactly. And I had to learn to stop that. I guess what I'm saying is in my early days, I was really big on it's not my fault. I have anxiety, paranoia, mental illness, bipolar disorder, or I'm a free spirit and this is how Gabe does. Yeah, but you recognize that I was doing all of this to people. It really had a huge impact, not only on my life, but on the life of people that I worked with. You once made a joke, and I thought it was awesome, where you said that you only work with me because I'm the organized one.
Oh, that was an email.
Yes, that the only reason that I am your co-host is because I must be...
Yeah, because, I must work with you. You must be really organized or something. That's what somebody wrote in an email to me. Yeah. So, you are organized, Gabe. You are.
Exactly.
Yes.
And one of the good things about Gabe and Michelle is that our strengths are, they're different. You know, one of us is a great writer and one of us is a great designer. One of us is a great speaker and one of us is Michelle. And one of us is...
Hey, what the fuck does that mean, you dumb bitch? You fucking... I'm a better speaker than you. I'm a better speaker than... Yeah, I am.
Really? Did you get your own room for a keynote?
Well, you know what? She told me when I'm ready, I should come.
You realize that I just now won the argument. I gave the keynote and she said when you're ready, you'll get one. So you're not ready.
So that's all I have to tell her is that I'm ready and I'll get a keynote.
But you weren't ready yet, and I have already delivered many.
Because she had seen you speak before, Gabe. And from the breakout session that I had, she told me, hey, when you're ready for a keynote, let me know. Does that not say that my breakout was good enough to have a keynote? Huh. Ha, 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 ha.
What she said is you're not quite ready for a keynote yet, but as soon as you are, and you're close if you practice and work. And that's actually a great segue.
That's not what she said.
That's exactly what she said.
That's not what she said,
That is exactly
Gabe.
what she said. I was standing right there.
Shut up, Gabe. That's not even it. You weren't there. You don't know. I got a message from her anyway. She messaged me on Facebook, so don't even.
You realize that like all kinds of people message you on Facebook, like perverts and creepazoids.
Who messages you on Facebook?
Perverts and creepazoids.
Well, I get messages about keynotes, so stop. I don't even need to hear that anymore. Gabe, I'm better than you. I will always be better than you. I'm younger and hotter.
Okay, the last two are unequivocally true. No doubt at all. But listen, isn't this interesting though? Because you feel very strongly that you're better at some things than me, and you feel equally strongly that I'm better at some things than you. But then we have this middle territory.
Well, we all have different strengths. We all have different weaknesses.
But how often do we only seek out people that have our same weaknesses or our same strengths? On one hand, no, all the time. We love to be around like-minded people.
I see what you're just...
We never want to be around people who are different.
So are we a lot alike, Gabe? Is that what you're trying to get at?
No, we are nothing alike, and it's why we fight constantly.
That's why we're always fighting?
Exactly. That is 100%. Could you imagine if you were more like me? On one hand, we would get along better. But on the other hand, who would do the graphics? Who would do the marketing? Who would build the website? Who would have gotten us on Instagram? Who would have done a lot of things for the show that really gave it those magical touches? I mean, just you add a tremendous amount of value to the podcast. But if I wasn't so organized and got everything, as you know, there are 20 steps from the start of an episode to the release of an episode. There are 20 things that need done. And I'm not insulting you, but you know damn well I'm in charge of 15 of them.
Are you in charge of 15 of them?
Yeah. And okay. I remind you to do the other 5.
But I do them.
You do them, and you do them exceptionally well. And on one hand, I could get mad at you that I have to remind you, or I could remember, hey, this is fantastic. Because if I worked with another Gabe Howard, the show would suck. Here's how the show would go. Are you ready? Here's exactly how the show would go. So, other Gabe Howard, do you procrastinate? I did used to procrastinate, but through therapy and coping skills, I got better. Excellent. So, other Gabe, do you get distracted? I used to get distracted, but through therapy and coping skills and no doubt sleep hygiene, I got better. Oh, that is wonderful. So you are living in recovery with bipolar disorder? I am living in recovery with bipolar disorder. And Columbus, Ohio is the 14th largest city. I agree, other Gabe. Thank you.
14th.
Could you imagine listening to that piece of garbage?
That'd be nonsense. I would never want to hear that. And if I hear that the Columbus is the 14th largest city one more time, I'm going to explode.
Columbus is the 14th largest city.
New York City is the number 1 largest city, and it's the best city there ever was, is, and ever will be.
I love New York City, Michelle, and I am jealous that you get to live there. And I procrastinate coming to visit you because, I have to get on a plane and stuff. And I'm missing out on going to New York. And the reason that I bring this up is many, many, many years ago, I was too anxious, panicky, and paranoid to fly, and I never traveled. And the very first time I got on a plane and traveled somewhere, I had crippling panic attacks on the plane. And I had to take frankly, I'm going to call her a caregiver because there was just no way in hell that I could go without somebody. And I put it off and I didn't want to go. And the entire time that I was there, crippling panic attacks for 4 days. But now all these years later, I fly all by myself.
Big boy.
I know that sounds funny to say. I fly all by myself. But I went from crippling panic attacks with a caregiver to I get to the flight late. I'm TSA certified and I come running on the plane. I'm the guy who they're like, Gabe Howard, this is the last call. We're boarding. I'm like, I know, I'm running late. I used to get to the airport 4 hours early. And I bring all this up because I went from that to this, but I did it slowly and by admitting what I was doing wrong.
What are you talking about?
And I think that you need to do that too, Michelle.
Admitting what?
Because
the planes? What does that have to do with planes?
I'm telling you a story from my life so that you can apply it to your life, and then maybe you'll be on time and prepared to record from now on.
I am on time and prepared to record
because you'll start earlier.
On.
Oh, well, you stop getting so defensive and just admit that you could do better.
I know I can do better, but here's the secret of planes. If you're on a plane and there's turbulence, look at the flight attendants. If they're okay, you're okay. If the flight attendants are panicking, you're not okay.
So apply that to your work life. If there is turbulence in your work life, look at your co-host. If he's panicking, you're not okay.
You panic about everything. You make a mountain out of a molehill. You said one word. You know what I mean?
I just want to see you do that again because that was adorable.
No, shut up. I mean,
everybody has their thing. We all have our thing, but I really do think that step one is admitting that you have a thing. And some of us, and I'm not picking on you, Michelle, sincerely, I'm really not. We've done 70 episodes. Clearly something is working to get over 70
hopefully.
episodes.
I hope something's working there. I hope something's working. Can anyone write in and tell us if something's working? Because if something's not working, I'll fix it. Gabe will fix it. He's a man. He probably has a toolbox.
I have no toolbox.
You don't have I have 2 toolboxes and you have none?
I have 0 toolboxes.
I have more tools than you?
I guarantee it.
Okay.
I have one tool. It is a pen to write a check to pay people to fix stuff. That is my only tool. The other day, the toilet leaked, and I called my handy guy, and he was just like, just tighten the thing. And I said, no. He came out and tightened the thing for me because I would not tighten it myself.
Mazel tov.
I need to be a renter. I don't know why I own a house.
I hate being a procrastinator because my room is a disgusting mess. I want to clean my room every day, but I procrastinate and say I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And all that leaves me with is a messy room. I wish I could just clean my room, but I can't. And I can't do it, and it drives me nuts. I'm angry that my room is messy, but I procrastinate and I won't clean my room. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know what to do. Maybe I should just talk to a therapist about it, or maybe I should just goddamn freaking clean my room. But at the end of the day, my room's dirty. Maybe one day I will clean my room and the world will be a better place.
If you have ideas for how Michelle Hammer could clean her room, please email show@psychcentral.com and share your ideas.
And if you want to clean my room for free, email show@psychcentral.com.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this week's episode of Bipolar, a Schizophrenic, and a Podcast. My name is Gabe Howard, and you can find me at gabehoward.com. My exceptional co-host is Michelle Hammer, and you can find her at schizophrenic.nyc. We will see everybody next week, presumably after you have left us as many stars as humanly possible, after you have commented on all of our stuff, shared us on social media, and made us as famous as humanly possible.
You've been listening to a Bipolar, a Schizophrenic, and a Podcast. If you love this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Head over to iTunes or your preferred podcast app to subscribe, rate, and review. To work with Gabe, go to gabehoward.com. To work with Michelle, go to schizophrenic.nyc. For free mental health resources and online support groups, head over to psychcentral.com. The show's official website is psychcentral.com/BSP. You can email us at show@psychcentral.com. Thank you for listening, and share widely.
Procrastinate! I would have yelled procrastinate sooner, but I procrastinated.